Hello, Age community. What's up? Hope you're doing well. I have been really busy, but I've been working so hard on things I can't talk about just yet, but things that should be really good in the future. My content and your enjoyment, one would hope. Hope you enjoy this one. So this literally just happened like 2 hours ago. I saw it. Well, I caught glimpses of it, and then I had a there's no way that actually happened type of moment, and it happened, okay? And I'm going to bring it to you here. We've got a 1v1. This was in a tournament. I haven't casted any of the tournament. I think it's called Meta World Tour. Hardy might be able to link the details in the description. But anyways, the score at this point in a best of 5 was 2-1 for FreakinAndy. And you might know FreakinAndy if you've been following Titans League. He's in Platinum, and he's been doing really well. So he's definitely like an up-and-coming type player. He's been getting really good results recently. And Nikov's been around quite a long time. And I don't know what I would have said coming into this tournament because I don't know what the map pool was. But I would say pretty even matchup. Maybe Nikov even still the favorite. So the map here is Acropolis. And on Acropolis, you start on the hill. You cannot build walls on this rock. And in this game, there's an advantage for anyone who's on the hill, right? So like if you were fighting here against a unit here, you do hill bonus damage. So it's like usually really awkward to do damage to the players at their main base because you advance up the hill and then they have the advantage on top of the hill. But, you know, here, this game's going to play out a little bit differently, so we'll see. Now, usually you're thinking as Andy's about to lose a villager to a boar. See, that boar was actually doing less damage because of attacking uphill. Okay, usually, you know, you're talking about, like, taking these wood lines and controlling those areas and all the other stones and golds. This game, again, is just very, very different. Now, I also have Andy in orange, by the way. He apparently always plays like this. I don't like to use orange when I'm casting normally, but I did want to use this video, since it's kind of a unique one, to get your feedback on this color combination. So if it's not a big deal for you, let me know. If it is kind of problematic, apologies for this one, I suppose. But when you think Byzantines as a civilization, it's a civ that could just kind of counter everything. If you make lots of stable units, they have cheap spearmen and cheap camels. So I would say they counter civs that are one-dimensional with stable units more so than other civs. But even still, they have very cheap skirmishers as well, which is a counter to archers. Where Byzantine struggle is they don't really have that, like, a real power thing. It's not like that, whoa, that crazy thing from the Byzantines. No, it's just they're consistent, and you know, you can have more of a relaxed approach with the Byzantines, and no economic bonuses, right? But just lots of cheap units. So typically what you're doing is you are playing into feudal age, and then you are playing based on what you've seen from your opponent. So you look at your opponent and you scout your opponent and you say, all right, they're making that thing. Well, I've got the counters to it. So that's the normal approach with the Byzantines. Now, I don't know what happened in the previous games, but it is very possible that maybe Andy had done some pretty wild things, or maybe there were, you know, maybe in previous rounds or something, Andy had tried what many people might consider to be the impossible, which is fast castling on this type of map. It's very rare to see a fast castle on any open map these days. But a reason it could work is because your opponent would be scared to advance up the hill because you could meet them at the top. And also because players are pretty far apart. Like, look, edge of map for Nikov, edge of map for Andy. And Acropolis is normally like this. So players are further apart on this map than normal maps. But, you know, I don't know the thought process from Nikov going into it. But obviously, as you can see here, Nikov looking to pressure his opponent. And he should be able to know where his opponent is based on where the hill is located. And he also is assuming, based on the factors I just explained, that it would probably be pretty far away as he's looking. That could technically be like here, could technically be here, but the second you see this, you know Andy's on top of it. So Andy is done some wacky things. If you've really been on the Andy hype train, there's a video that there's even a song about. Like, there's a whole lot of stuff with my community about it now, where Andy once played me in a ranked game and converted my Fatoria because we started with Fatorias. Highly suggest that one. It was a really fun game. But, you know, Andy just, he does some wacky stuff from time to time. Obviously very good in standard games as well. But, he has not researched Loom at this point. And Nikov is down in this series, and Nikov's looking for Vil kills. So no Loom. Kind of a risky game to play. Andy thought about some quick walls, but denied. Villager down. This is just like so risky. Still 50% of the way from the next stage. Still trying to push in deer. Like this is not ideal, okay? Nothing about this is ideal. Having lost a villager already, and then having the opponent making cheap spearmen and cheap skirms. Now, this is kind of exclusive to the Byzantines. There are a couple other civilizations that might end up trying this, but as I mentioned before, it's cheap for the spearmen and the skirms, and the whole idea is to suffocate and overwhelm the opponent. Still no Loom for Andy, by the way. Like, still, I think Nikov honestly could have gone in for another villager kill with that scout. And Nikov's just going to drop a tower here and start to apply pressure. Now, this is just nuts, all right? Like, remember, like, Nikov should not need to worry about anything at his base because of how his opponent has decided to play this. Nikov's already on stone to make more towers. Nikov's denied the wood line. And from what we're seeing here, like, just the resources for Andy's not really even that good to realistically get castle age. Like, this is just so much risk and so much pressure, and Nikov's just surrounded the poor guy. I mean, Andy kind of brought it on himself, right? But look, like, the market can't really be finished yet. And sure, the scout shows up, and that can attack a skirmisher, but Nikov can just use his villagers there, and now the scout's dead. And it's 7 military against 0 right now. So Andy's going to drop a tower, but the reason he's going fast castle is because he wants a castle, right? So he's dropped a tower in, kind of bit of a panicky moment, because I think he needs to protect the berries to get the food. But while he needs to get the berries, he also needs the stone. So this is just a perfect opportunity for Nikov. You've taken your opponent off of the lumber camp. Your opponent can't take wood. They're just chopping these little trees to start with, the stragglers. Now, Andy can't really take stone. And even look at this from Nikov. He starts to make a tower. Andy starts to make a counter tower. And now Andy's like, oh crap, that wouldn't actually protect my stone. So you want to go castle age? Good. I'm sure you'll get there eventually. Well, you are not going to be able to make the castle, at least easily, because you are making lots of towers here. That's the thinking, okay? So resources are almost there for Andy to click up to the next stage. And Andy builds faster with the Spanish, so he's able to build this. And he does the right thing here. You garrison with a couple of vills, you attack with a couple of vills. And then the positive news for you, obviously, is you're going to get your stone back. But, like, nothing else, right? Like, now you're off of gold, too. So you don't really even have gold income. And if you're thinking of building a castle in the next stage, the unit you'd want to make, this guy up here, this friendly guy, that's a conquistador. And that's food and gold. This isn't a food and gold economy. Nikov's even walling in the mining camp. Gonna make another tower. Okay, so from what Nikov can see, Andy is on berries and Andy is on stone. And Andy will most definitely make a castle. And Andy is now sending the berry villagers forward. And Nikov sees this. You see, Andy has recognized, if I make a castle at home, it's not going to do too much for me, right? Like, my eco is still going to be ruined. It's going to take me time to get the towers down. I probably can make like 1 or 2 conquistadors, but then that gives Nikov time. So you know what? Let's just YOLO it, baby. And I thought, like, when I caught a glimpse of this game, and I'm so excited to show it to you now, I just thought you would like this. Nikov is bringing villagers. Nikov knows that Castle Age isn't anywhere close for him, and that he needs to just simply attack with vills. So he's got a little bit of army, and then he has villagers. Now, villagers don't auto-attack, so you'd need to click everything manually. And villagers for Spanish do build faster. Any other civ, this is probably just a dream. So we have, 11 vills going for a stroll for Nikov. 11 vills going for a stroll for Andy. And Nikov's just chasing these vills down. At home for Andy, he's soon going to have the stone for a castle. Doesn't have it yet. Has 1 on food, 1 on food. That's it. No villagers on gold. The rest of the vills just walking around. A couple vills headed this way. And then a couple vills headed this way. Nikov has not lost a villager. Nikov only has killed... He's killed 2 villagers. He's tracking this the whole way through here. So Nikov chasing it down. And like the HP on some of the villagers for Andy's pretty weak. The skirms and spears, they tickle, but they still do damage. And then villagers also do pretty solid enough damage as well. So here we go. Are you ready for this? This castle has to go up for Andy. And so Andy, knowing this, is going to drop the foundation first. And now it needs to wall in some of these villagers. That's got to be the goal here. And that one's weak. These two have been pulled away. TC's hitting that one. Andy walls in these vills. Here we go. Nikov pulled villagers off of stone. Needs the stone for a tower. And just gets the stone for a tower now. So just the fact that the villagers are walled in is not enough now for Andy. And I think Andy probably felt after the initial wall down, like, okay, I'm fine. Because he wasn't really spam clicking. But now he's spam clicking. So I would show you the HP, but I really just want to show you the percentage here. Watch the percentage at the bottom left of your screens. This is really close. And if it goes up, Andy's got a chance in this game where he hasn't killed a villager yet, and his eco is horrible. Percentage, 92%. Villagers dropping, though. 99%. Goes up with 2 more villagers remaining. And what do you even do? Your farms were up here. Your wood is up here. Your gold is next to castles. You're in the feudal age. Andy is able to make a conquistador or two. Your TC will be shot down. What do you do in this position? Well, you just resign. That's the end of the game. Andy actually won the series with this. What in the world? He walked across the whole map and barely got that castle down. Dang. That was pretty ridiculous. Nikov had a really good game, too. Like, he took the wood. He took the gold. He also did the thing that so many pros forget to do. He, like, walled in the towers so they'd be protected. He Vil fought. He brought his army. He killed 13 villagers, but these two finished the job. And I'll just give you a quick little replay of the situation here. Like, I think Nikov did a better job than I would have been able to do in that position. Obviously, from what we can see, if he had a couple more vills attacking these villagers, then maybe that wins him the game. Right? Just a couple of these vills aren't being attacked by anything. And that ends up making all the difference here. But just ridiculous stuff. Like, he focus fired with the castle. Here, we can actually go slow-mo with Capture Age. Castle's at 95%. So close, right? Look, this vill's gonna die. This vill's gonna die. It actually comes down to being... This is at 99.8%. 14 HP of villagers. Those two villagers are combined. They don't even make up a fourth of a villager together. And obviously the castle goes up. And, you know, what do you guys think? Do you think Nikov was correct to resign here? I do. Because you're just screwed. You're just absolutely screwed. 2 conquistadors kill everything. And Nikov doesn't have anything else at this point. So as far as, like, what Nikov could have done differently, honestly, just get a little bit luckier. And then the castle gets denied. And then, you know, apparently this tournament series would have gone on. But it's just, like, the craziness of Andy to just stroll forward. And how awesome it was that Nikov spotted it and tried to deny it was lovely stuff here. I thought you guys might enjoy it. So let me know your thoughts. It wasn't the longest cast I've ever done before. But just took some boldness and took some creativity. Is that the word? I don't know. It took something and it got the job done. And if you make that castle at home in Andy's position, you could probably like castle here to shoot this tower down or castle here to shoot this tower down. But you still don't have access to wood or gold, one or the other. You still don't have farms. Like res collected is still going to be a pretty rough category for you. I will say that like Nikov collected a lot of wood, didn't really spend it, right? The thought process of getting wood is to eventually have the food, but there is no eventually here because the game ended. Yeah, 14-9 KD from Nikov. Nikov killed 13 villagers, and I'm sure Nikov was like, well, that was not a good time. I did not enjoy that. But hey, as long as YouTube enjoyed it, right, Nikov? Let me know if you enjoyed this, guys. Appreciate the love, and see you in the next one.